Hi everybody, hello, welcome back again to welcome if it's your first time, and welcome back again if you've been following me along on this hashtag ABC April 2025 collaboration. Nearly called it a challenge. It's kind of a challenge. Look how dirty my board is. Tut tut. And today, we've done all of these, we've done that, and today we're on Masterboard. So the girls have suggested for prompt, we're on M. We're not on Masterboard, we're on M. Masterboard, mixed media, memory keeping, and mitre. Well, a lot of those are speaking to me, but I think we'll start off with a Masterboard, and I'm pretty sure you all know what a Masterboard is, but I'm going to make one anyway. So what I've got to start with is a very thin piece of copy paper. It's thinner than your normal copy paper, and I would advise that the thinnest paper you have, that's what you start with, because we're sticking stuff onto it and it's going to get thicker, and generally by the end of it this ends up dirty and we have to cover the back with something, so that's another layer. So you really want your thinnest paper that you can lay your hands on at the minute. The other thing you want for Masterboards are lots of remnants of bits of paper. So I've got that from the book I showed you yesterday, bits of music paper that are left over from also yesterday, nice little edge piece, 2 bits of the ledger that we used, that's got writing on the back, so I think we should be all right. Then 3 pictures, well, it's 1 picture, but I'm going to cut it into 3, from the other book I showed you yesterday, and that's another remnant from that book. So there we go. I haven't got any book page, so let's just get some of that out. I think I tore one out yesterday and changed my mind, so we'll leave that one out there. Okay, now what you have to remember is it's your Masterboard. You can do it whichever way you fancy. I tend to do mine with straight edges going up and across, but really you can put whatever you fancy anywhere you like. So should we start off with a bit of book page? I need my tear ruler, is what I need. Because I don't want too much of the just white. Well, it's not white, just the margin. But I'll keep them because I might want them later. And that can get stuck there. And you can put it just over the edge if you want to be sure, but I'm going to put mine right up to the edge. I'm probably going to put something down here so I can actually also get rid of that torn bit on the top. That's been a bit keen. Whoops, that's a disaster. That'll do nicely. I'll keep that just in case I need it. You're going to get sick of me saying that. Now this is the perfect project for glue stick. Those of you that know me will know I don't get on too well with glue stick. I end up being the sticky thing. So I'm just going to use my ordinary everyday glue. Which will take longer, no doubt about it. But, you know, it's just the way I do it. So, oh, that's upside down. Which doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because there are going to be bits that are upside down and whatever, but let's start off the right way up, shall we? Right, piece 1. I've got this piece which is really rather nice. So I'm just going to tear that there. And put that I'm just going to overlap it, and that's all. lovely. You can at this stage, if you want to, ink everything. But if you're going to go on to do other things with it, I recommend that you use Stays On or Archival or VersaFine Clair, something that's waterproof. Because if you ink around these with Distress and then you come in later with a layer of ink or whatever you might, spray ink, whatever it might be, it's all gonna come off and mix up, and it'll start to look a bit dirty. So let's try a bit of ledger paper, shall we? And I'm curious to know whether this is going to show through the writing on the back. It might, but that'll be all right. I think we'll be okay, whatever. So it's a much cooler day here today. I think we've had our summer now, but it was very nice while it lasted. So let's just pop that down. You can see that writing through it, but I'm not overly fussed. It's okay. It's all right. Let's not panic about it. So I've got some music paper. Oh, I've got that bit there, look. That bit would go there. It's upside down, but heady-ho, what the heck. So I could put that bit there. Let's do that. Later on I am going to throw some inks and stuff at this, and I'm curious to see how this paper takes it, because I think it's going to be very, very absorbent, which means that once you spray it with ink, it's down for good, but we'll see. Just curious is all. So let's put that there. Looking nice already. I really like that already. It's lovely. Okay, let's make a start on this corner up here, so we're not just doing one bit. Let's just tear off that raggedy bit if I can. Not so bad. It's not so bad. And shall I keep? I'll keep all of that. Keep what, you know, the chapter 1 and all that sort of stuff. So I hope you're having a good time. Those of you that are doing the hashtag ABC April 2025 collab. It's really fun, isn't it? Every day you're doing something different. And every day, honestly, I could do dozens for each of the things. So just up in that corner, we'll start off there. Looking nice. Where's that little bit of this bit here? I might put that there actually. I could bring it across a little bit and put it there. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm not using my collal for this, because collal, when it dries, it really does stiffen things up. And I don't want this to be mega stiff. I want it to be like ordinary sort of paper that you'd use in a journal. That doesn't look straight in it by any means, does it? That's a bit better. A little bit better. So let's have a bit of this over here. So these are just the remnants that we've created, that I created yesterday. That's bent in that corner. But, you know, all throughout this collab, I've kept saying to you, keep your remnants. You never know when you might need them. So by now you've probably got a box full of remnants, and you're only too glad to do a masterboard to use up some of them. So do a masterboard or two, or several. I think that is non-straight, but it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, let's have a bit of music paper. Have I got any other? No. Well, let's tear this bit off. And, well, that bit, definitely. But I'll keep it, because you never know. And I could get away with adding that there. Yeah. Maybe up a little bit, just to give a more jaggy look to it. That's not square, but that's okay, we can deal with that. And this has got a sort of frilly edge where it was torn out the book. That's also okay. So just take your time, building it up as we go. It's one of my favourite things to do when I've got time, or when your mojo's just got up and gone and you can't think of anything to do. You've got all these wonderful supplies and you just can't think of a thing to make. So let's just put that up a little bit there. Not straight. I don't think that line's straight either, but there we go. So coming together now, we've joined up. So down here, what do I want? Where are those pretty little flowers? Here they are. Let's cut. No, let's leave those actually till we've more or less finished the thing. So what have I got left now? Where's my book page gone? Blimey, did I use it all? Let's get another one then. Okay, I'm going to be guided by where those are and tear it across there. Tear that one across there. I'll keep that because you never know, you never ever know. Right, that's a bit big for down there, isn't it? Let's take off some of the border. I've made it too small, have I? Yes, a little bit. So we need something to go down there. Let's take that off. This is what I mean about it bulking up, because you've got layers on top of layers. So that's going to go there. Well, I'm going to have a little bit there and a little bit down here, but we have the means to rectify that. Come on. So yeah, if your mojo's got up and gone and you're watching all these videos and you go into your room or your space, wherever, and you look around, you've got all the beautiful things that you've bought over the years and nothing. There's nothing in that head of yours. You just can't see anything. Well, this is really great. Just grab your box of remnants. Failing that, grab a couple of old books. That'll work equally as well. And make a masterboard. Right, this is anything but straight. So let's just straighten that up a little bit. Wow, that tears so beautifully. I'm going to put that away because it's not straight, it's doing me head in. And I want a bit of this for up there. So I'm going to tear it about there. Lovely. And now I want to tear it about there, say halfway across there. So it's up to you, just tear what you fancy. It's great, really is the ultimate self-expression. This glue's just being slightly awkward. I don't know where my pin's gone. It's gone on the missing list. Oh, I've got a bit of a pin here. Oh, it's a whole pin. I thought it was one that the head had come off. It's not completely plain bowl today. I'm having to press it really hard. I think there's some blockage somewhere, but it's still coming out, so that will do me. Right, so this is going in this corner here. Like that. So, I mean, really, honestly, we've done wondrous works. I'll put this in the middle, I think. It's a shame because I'm going to lose that. Let's put it under there then and tear that about there. So we've got lots of blank space, we've got a little bit of patterned book page, old ledger, music paper, book page. Have I said all those before? And we're doing all right. So that I just want to tuck under there so I can retain that lovely edge. There we go. Lovely. Now I just want something to put there. So ledger it is, I reckon. So I want to tear it about there. Lovely, and it's coming down to there, so I can tear the top off. It's going to be a bit long and I'll need to trim it up afterwards, but that's fine. Okay, let's go. So you see how quickly a masterboard happens. And while you've got all your remnants out and your glue and everything else, you might as well make more than one, because they make fabulous bits of ephemera. They really do. And yeah, you know, if you've got two, that's just great. I don't want that one down quite so far. About there. About there. So there's a bit at the top that's going to need trimming, but that's okay. Now then, I've got this gap here and a gap here. So what am I going to use for that? Well, we did save some little bits, didn't we? Saved that bit, this bit. Oh, I saved the one that says chapter 11. So that could go there. It's the same as this book page, but that's going to just try and get rid of that writing on it so it just says chapter 11. I think I've torn that. I think I have not done very well with that. Excuse me. Will it work? I believe it will. Let's take that end off because that's no use to man, no beast. So it can come quite, yeah, about there. That'll do. That's nice. So I want to tear that off about there. And let's glue that down. So you will end up with bits missing. It's up to you. You can put washi tape on them. Do all sorts of things. Do whatever comes into your head. Yes, that was a live one. And actually when it does that, it leaves glue behind it, you know, where it's been. And when we come to put ink on it, don't tear on me. The bits that have got glue on take the ink differently, so it's quite, you get quite an effect from it. And the next bit we need is this bit along here, so let's just use a plain, what's this, perfect for the job. Just use a plain bit, and I'm going to attempt, no I'm not, I'm going to just stick it on and I'll trim it up later when we have a look round and see what needs trimming. Oh, my glue's working great now. Don't know what was wrong with him. I ordered a baby doll, you know, baby reborn doll. Well, a rip-off, not an actual expensive reborn. So they could dress them up and take photographs with the stuff that I've knitted on them. And yeah, she's pretty. So I've just turned this over so I can see the bits that are sticking out and trim them off. So you see the back does get dirty. I mean, maybe your board's cleaner than mine. I'm hoping it is because mine's filthy. There we have it. There is our beautiful masterboard made of remnants. Right, so I've still got these three here that I could put wherever I fancy. So let's cut them out. Let's use this one. Concentrating, guys. Concentrating. Now we don't know what bits of ephemera we're going to make from this. So, you know, I could be putting that right in the middle of a tag or something. It doesn't matter. It'll all look gorgeous in the end. Trust me. I'm a doctor. I'm not actually. We're making more remnants here. But I'm going to be brave and throw that out. Make a hash of that one. And that one can probably go there. And this one, that is not straight. So just while I'm doing this, let me thank everybody who has donated to the page, the group, to me. I am so grateful. I really am, because I've now demonetized YouTube, so I earn nothing from YouTube, and I did that quite deliberately. I don't know where I want that one. It's better for you when you're viewing not to be repeatedly interrupted by adverts, and if you are, let me tell you, it's not. I haven't done it. It's a YouTube thing. As far as I'm concerned, there are no adverts in there. Right, I think I want to ink around these, and like I said, I want to use archival Versafine Clay, something like that. So I'm using archival vintage photo, and then when that dries, it's absolutely dry. It's not going to come off when we start messing around with whatever we're going to mess around with. Yeah, I think they look better when they're inked. Up to you what you use. You use fussy cuts, labels, anything. And it will be very interesting once we cut this out, just to see where these end up. They could be at the bottom, could be the top, could be upside down, who knows, eh? I'll put that one there. So, there we go. I've got rather more on this side, and this side is the plainer side. So, let's budge that down a bit. No, because then I've got a gap there. I could get away with that there, I suppose. No, I'm going to leave them where they were, just like them. I thought they looked just right like that. So let's do it. Let's stick them down. Lovely. So it was going about there, wasn't it, I think? Something like that. Something like that. Oh, it's looking so pretty. It is one of my favourite things to make, but I seldom do it because I know I've shown you a gazillion times, and I think you'll just go to sleep if I show you again. Oh, bring it over there to there. Like I say, I've got some ink glue down there, and I'm going to dab up the thick of it, but there still will be a residual amount. Which is fine. Okay, put the glue back in its holder, turn that the right way up, and I'm going to put that about there. So there we are. We've still got loads of remnants left. Loads and loads. I could easily do another masterboard without even thinking about it. You know, I've still got all this left. I mean, loads. There's loads there. So just give that a good press down. If you've got a brayer, get your brayer out and really press that down. Because what you don't want is when you come to cut your ephemera out that you've got bits that aren't stuck, because that's a pain going around them all and sticking them. So that should have given that a really good brayering. Okay, so there's my masterboard. Different shades of neutral and some floral bits. That's the back. It's got grubby because my desk's grubby. So yeah, probably my recommendation is wipe your desk over before you begin. That's something I just never do. Now, I'm going to pause you there and I'll be back with something in a minute. Right, so I've got my masterboard and I've got these two out to show you. This is Gesso Primer White, and this one is clear. So it's up to you. If you have either, then you've got a choice. If you've only got white, that's great. I'm going to use white. But sometimes you might want to preserve all of this, in which case clear is your way forward. This one is a De Laroni one. This one is a Liquitex Professional. I am always guided by the cost. And I would have bought this, I can't remember when I did, but I would have bought the professional one because it was a really good price, not because I need professional quality. So there we go. I'm going to use the white, as I say, and put some out on my board. If ever you want to come out, that would be most excellent. Sorry about the noise. Oh, there we go. We got some eventually. Shut that up. So I've got a fairly broad brush here, and I'm just going to take a little bit like that and just what they call dry brushing. So I'm just going over it with not much product on my brush. That's great when you get it like that. And I'm going to try and leave these a little bit clear of the gesso. You don't have to go everywhere. Up to you how thick you want this to be on your piece. You can see I'm just kind of touching it really. And that I'm going to leave as well. You never know, some of it might remain at the end of the day. You could brayer this on if you wanted to. You get a nice finish with that as well. I've gone right over there, so let's just remove that with my thumb. You can see from the lump that I put out, there's hardly any missing. I want to do this top corner. And you can see on the cream background, there's really not very much there. Okay, so now it's drying time. Well, for me, it's trying to get this back in the pot because I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to take my little smallest palette knife in the world and put that back in there. Whoops. I could have done with getting a bigger palette knife. That is the truth of the matter. Any bit like that bit that's laid out and is dry, don't put that back in. Obviously. There we go. So that's salvaged most of that. So now I'll put my lid back on, and then I want to wipe my board up and wash these two out. Gesso is thick acrylic paint, so don't leave it on your brush or you'll have jiggered your brush up. So I'll be back in when that's dry. Okay, so that's pretty much dry. And now I've looked out some of my sprays. I've got no I haven't. I've got peeled paint in the ordinary spray. I've got vintage photo in the ordinary spray. And I've also got this, which is forest moss, and it's in one of the older type bottles. I'm pretty sure somebody commented the other day and said you can buy these and they fit on there. Don't take that as gospel because I can't quite remember. But it's the only dark green I've got, so I'm going to have to use that. And then I've got my oxides, which is shabby shutters and peeled paint. So we've got a lot of greens and a brown. Okay, so because I think parts of this are going to take the ink more than others, I'm just going to spritz it not heavily. That's probably a bit too heavy. Let's just give it a little bit of a dry. Okay, so I'm going in with this, which is the darkest one. And I just want, oh look at that, on the what do you call it, ledger, the ink's running. Huh, fancy that. And yeah, this is taking ink differently. So just splat that around a bit. So we've got some dark areas. And the book page is not looking great, I will say that. Now, to start spraying, I've got myself a new splat box because the old one wasn't big enough. So Mr. F's made me a new splat box. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the vintage photo. I don't know why I'm shaking it, you don't need to. And just put some bits of that around. That's nice. Then my peeled paint in the ordinary ink. Now I shall move on to the oxides, and I'll go with peeled paint in the oxide. Yeah, I mean, it's very opaque, oxides, so just be careful that you're not obliterating anything. Now I am obliterating those pretty little pieces that I put on, so I'm just going to try and get rid of some of that ink on there, just so I can still see that they are. Yeah, I mean that one's pretty far gone, but you know, it's still there. Right, so let's move on to the peeled paint oxide. Now this paper is really not looking great. I don't know whether it will accept the oxide. No, it's just sinking in as well. Okay, so I'm going to dry that as it is. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? The only problem I've got are the pieces of white book page. They're really not taking the ink. But I have a solution, but I've got to dry it first. So I'll dry that and I'll be back to you and we'll have a look and see what we think. Okay, so I've dried that, and my overall feeling is it's very green. Despite all the different shades of green, oxides and inks that we used, there's really nothing, apart from this section here and here, that are a contrast. And contrasts are important when you're doing mixed media, well, anything, but particularly mixed media stuff. So I've looked at two other oxides, and they are tea dye and rusty hinge. And they should go quite nicely in here and add some of that contrast that we're looking for. So back into the splat box with you, and I'm going to try the rusty hinge first. And you can see where I was worried about the paper, the oxides are still actually some of it sitting on top of the paper, so I don't need to rectify that end here. If I did, if it really wasn't working, go over it with gesso and then spray it again. Clear gesso would be ideal, but any gesso, go over it, spray it again, and the gesso will hold it, and you'll get a truer to spray colour. But you know, these ones have oxidised and they're gorgeous. There's all blues and whatever in there. It's really nice. So let's try this then with my big girl pants on, because it might wreck it. Oh, that's kind of nice. Oh, kind of like that. I don't want to cover that up, so much, so let's just clean that out. And that. Oh, that looks nice, doesn't it? I'm just going to give that a little spritz just to start it activating because it's an oxide. Oh, look at that. Already it's really, really lifted it. So that was the rusty hinge. So let's try a little bit of tea dye. Don't lose the green. But I kind of want to enhance it a little bit. Right over the top of my flower. Silly Billy. Pick up what you can. There we go. And just another little splat of water just to get that going, really. I think maybe I'm missing some down here, actually. That looks lovely now. Still got green, but I have got that rusty colour as well. Okay, so I'm going to dry that as it is. I've got this running down here and I don't really want that. And, you know, if you think you've overdone it, just get a piece of tissue and blot some of it off. And I think I might have overdone it, so I am going to blot some off. There we go. Oh, now we're getting interesting. Now this bit up here still looks like it's not right, so let's give that a little blast of tea dye, a little bit of water. Any more for any more? No, I think we're all right at that. So I'm going to dry that now and I'll be back to you and we'll see if it looks any better. Oh, before I go, this bit here is looking a bit. Let's use the tea dye actually. Yeah. Okay, right, I'm going to dry that and then I'll be back to you. Okay, so there we have it. It's dry. It really looks nice. The oxides, of course, give it that very dull appearance, which you can rectify if you want to by putting matte medium over it and it'll go nice and shiny. But it might also move your inks around. So I quite like it like that. I don't have a problem with it. But what I would say is that it's gone very orangey with the rusty hinge and I'm losing the green. I've got bits of it, definitely, but I've got to be careful now what I add to the top, because if I add just ink, it's just going to mix with this straight away and you won't see it. So I've got to add a green and it's got to be an oxide. So the two green oxides I have are peeled paint and shabby shutters. I might go with the peeled paint actually. So this is kind of what mixed media is. Bit of this, bit of that, you know, keep going forward, pull it back, etc, etc. So I'm just going to add, just spritz a little bit on it where I feel it's a bit not green enough. That's greened it up, hasn't it? Wow, yeah, okay. So I'm going to dry that fairly quickly in situ. I'm not going to add water to it. I'm going to dry it as is and hopefully retain some of that green colour. Okay, so there we go. It's back to being quite greeny and quite browny and really distressed looking, and I love it. But I do have this product here and it's called Distress, and then written, where am I going? There is Micro. So it's Distress Micro Glaze. And to be honest, it reminds me of Vaseline. But I'm going to try it on a little bit here and see what happens. You just get I've got green on my finger. That's probably not going to help to start with, is it? Let's put the lid back on that. Doing well today with wet white, but now I've kind of got to use one. I can't put it on with a green finger. It'll all go green. Okay, so let's clean these off. Clean the dirty pores. Yeah, it's not so easy to come off, but it's better than it was. There we go. All right, so let's make a start. I'm not terribly familiar with this product, so I'm just going to make it. Oh, I've got nails as well, which doesn't help. Let's get a little bit out. Where's my here? Let's just get a little bit out and put it on there. If you haven't got nails, you'd be fine getting it out the tub. But so I'm just going to take a bit on my finger and just rub it in. I'm not so sure that's doing that much really, but we'll see. Yeah, I think it probably is actually. I'll go up this side and we'll see what happens. You apparently need to use very little. So I'm using very little. But bear in mind, if you have this product, it is, it will make your page then non-porous. No, wrong. You won't be able to put water-based products on top of it. They won't stay. So that's, I've done that section. Don't know if it's any brighter or not. I'm going to get my towel out because it says to buff it. So I'm going to buff it and see what happens. Yeah, I think it has brightened it up. It's also bringing off quite a lot of green, but yeah, I think it has. I'm going to carry on and do that with the whole sheet, then I'll be back. Okay, so I've done that. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but there is a difference. It's got a slight sheen to it, but it feels like it's sealed, which is great. We've got all those colours locked in now. Now, the next thing to do is to work out what exactly you're going to do with this. I think we need for our journal more tags. We've got loads of pockets and stuff, journaling cards even, but we don't have that many tags. So let's chop it up. And I always chop from the back, that way then I don't know what I'm going to get. So if I said I wanted that to be 6.5, that would leave me a strip that's about 1.5 inches. If I said I wanted it 6, that would leave me that strip. 6-inch cards. Not sure. That's me thinking. That's 6.25 there, and that's going to leave me getting on for 2 inches. So that's a belly band, a page edge. Yeah, okay. I'm going to do it at 6.25. There we are. So that will be what we decide later on. And then I'm going to cut my tags out. So they're 6.25, and I'm going to make them by 3 by 3. By 3. I'm going to have a bit, I think, left on the end. Yeah, I'm going to have this bit left, which is actually 2 3/4. So let's move that across a bit. So it's about 2 7/8. there, and that should have left me a bit that is about, yeah, 2 7/8. Excellent. So let's just put that down there and let's have a look what we've got. Oh, ooh, nicey slicey. Oh, look at that. We managed to keep it. Goes that well. Look at that. And this one. Okay. So we've got some quite dirty looking tags, and we've got this. Now this could be a belly band. It could go that way across the page, which would be quite nice. I could have 2 of those actually, couldn't I? 2 belly bands. How wide would they be? They'd be to about there, which is 5 3/4. That's good, isn't it? That's going to fit on our, I've lost my faux journal page now. Ah, here it is. Oh well, it's half a page, but never mind. So 5, let's just do that. Yeah, that's going to fit nicely onto that page. So I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to make horizontal belly bands. So let's just mark where I want to cut that. Which is there. And I'll get my trimmer. Well, I can measure it, can't I? It's 5 3/4. There we go. So 2 horizontal belly bands. That's where I folded it. There we go. So we can dress those up as we wish. And these ones, well, quite nice. I can see the text through it and I can see which way it wants to go. That's got a flower in it. That's got that. Yeah, okay. So we've got these to make tags with. So the first thing I'm going to do is tidy up a bit, is trim the corners off. So let's see if I've got I've got a template here. Which size? That size? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's just trim those. And that one. Right, I can't remember where I was up to now, but I have die cut myself, of course, the daisies, of course. Those of you that know me will not be in the slightest bit surprised. But they are throughout this botanical book, so journal folio thing. So I'd like to use them here. I've cut some of these long, sticky, planty bits, and I've cut some of these. These 2 I had coloured the other day, but they didn't suit the project once I'd finished it. But we'll see, maybe they will come in now. Right, so the next thing I want to do, I'm rushing on because Mr. F's told me that my lunch is 3 minutes away. 3 minutes. Yeah, you'll be lucky. So what I want to do is I should have done this before let's put them back in the splat box. So we're dressing up now. We're dressing our pieces of ephemera up from this lovely base that we have, which is lovely. So I'm just going to spread those out in there, put those in as well. And I've got my acrylic pigment, not that one, this one. It's an eye zinc pigment from Southampton, and it's called Royal Gold. So I'm going to give that a good bit of a shake up, because whatever you put on here now, remember, this is waterproof, so it won't take distressed product. So this is an acrylic, so I know it will take it. And I'm just going to splatter with the brush that comes with it, this lovely gold, because now we can start to, as I say, dress them up. So I think the gold will look nice. Just turn it around a little bit. You don't want to overdo it, but you do want to have enough that you can see it. Oh yeah, that was a good one. And I don't want them all going the same way either, which is why I keep turning my box around. So that's the start of the gold, but we will be adding to it. I think that's about, we're about there, I'd say. Okay, right, so I'm going to leave those to dry. They don't take kindly to being force dried actually, these pigments. They just sort of, I don't know, they blow up then implode and they don't look very nice. So I'm going to leave those to dry whilst I have my lunch, and then I'll be back to you with more. Don't they look nice though? They're growing on me, definitely. I really love them. Okay, see you soon. Okay, well, I've had my lunch, watched a whole programme of Jeopardy, and now, yeah, these are perfectly dry, which is great. So I hope you can see that they've got really, really shiny dots of gold on them. And it's just a livener, if you like, for the background. Right, can't remember if I said to you what I'd cut out. I've cut out loads of, I mean, not enough for the whole lot, but loads of daisies. And these, that feels thicker. Oh, well, whatever. These and these sticky bits. I don't know, flowery sort of stuff. And I can make a nice grouping. They need to be coloured somewhat, but I can make a nice little group there on my masterboard. So let's just aim to do 2. Let's aim for that. Oh, I'll leave that one out because I really like it. And pop the rest away, which I can finish whenever. And let's think about colouring these. Okay, right. Thinking about it. I'm thinking. And I think what I'd like is something gold to pick up on the gold dots in the background. So I need my foiling box, which is here. Let me just move them out the way and you can have a look in my foiling box. See what I've got. I've got all this, which is Nouveau Gold Flakes. Got this, Cosmic Shimmer, all different colours. Gemstones gilding. I've got this, which is gold. Now this is in one of my pots because this is what I've brushed off other projects that I've made. So I'll lay that out because I think it is gold that I want. What's this? Metallic Gilding Flakes, Crafts 2. Oh, they look nice, they're big. I'll leave them out. I don't need them, but I'll leave them out. Then I've got silver, and then I've got sheets of gilding stuff. Should I want those? I won't get those out, but you can see there's green. There's the green. That one. Gold, purple. Wow, look at that. So yeah, there's every colour you could wish for. A sort of mixy up one, that one, I don't know what it's called. Metallic Flakes Sunset. And then I've got all these rolls in different colours. It's ridiculous how much stuff I've got. That, what's that? Indigo Blue Flutter Glue. Ah. Probably the best glue for flake and glitter stamping. Use half a teaspoon of flitter glue, spread onto cut and dry and ink stamp. Oh, we'll have to have a go at that. Definitely have to have a go at that. just little bits of remnants. And down here, down at the bottom, I have got these pens, which have got, let me just put this away. Oh, what's that? Mirror effect leaves, 12 leaves, gold finish with mirror effect. I've got so much stuff on this, it's silly. Anyway, let's put that back out of the way. So these pens here, Super Tack glue pen, foil art, and the glue that you use for, well, it says ideal for foiling and general gluing applications. Good for scrapbooking. When foiling, allow glue to dry completely clear and tacky before applying foil, 10 to 15 minutes. For best results, always clear glue, dry glue from pen tip before use. 2, repressurize pump by turning it upside down. Press ball point in tip for 2 seconds. Okay. Right, don't try and use ordinary glue for this because it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You need what's called size is the proper name of it, and that's what you need. So let me get this out. And all I want to do, all I want for Christmas, with my daisies is I just want to make the centre part gold. So there we are. There's my 4 daisies that I've die cut. And what did it say? Squeeze this and can't remember. I was going to say I've slept since then. I obviously haven't. Clear any dry glue off the nib. Okay, and then press that and press that. Oh, it's coming out already. Now this is the stickiest of sticky stuff, so be careful with it, be warned. So I'm going to come round the edge of that central part, like that, maybe not all the way around, then make it thicker on one side. Like that. So it's just going to pick up on the gold that's reflect onto there. And here a similar sort of thing. I haven't done this for so long and I'm hoping it works. So I'm just... I appreciate you can't see what the heck I'm doing here. I thought it went on blue, so I thought it would be alright for you to see, but I'll hold one up in a minute and you can see what I'm doing. So this takes, it says 10 to 15 minutes to dry. Not overly warm in here today, so probably nearer the 15 I would have thought, but doesn't matter, they can have as long as they want. There we go. I think that's all right. Let's just clean that glue off the end of the tip, then it'll be okay for next time. I think the reason I've got 4 is they came in a set of 4. So I'll hold this one up and you can hopefully see that. You see where I've put the glue? There you can see it. So I haven't covered the whole centre in, just little parts of it. Right. So I'm quite liking the idea of playing with this glitter glue. It has got no instructions on it, apart from on the top. So I'm going to try it first. Let's put these somewhere safe, otherwise I'm going to have glue everywhere. Okay, I need a messy mat, I think. Let's get this one out. Pop those to one side. Excuse me. Use half a teaspoon of flitter glue. Spread onto cut and dry and ink the stamp. Clean stamp with water. Sprinkle flake over stamped image. Gently rub and then polish with scoochy sponge. Ta-da! Says that. Says ta-da. So, okay. I'll be back when I've found my cut and dry. Okay, I think I've found everything. This is my cut and dry. So I'm going to just cut. I'm just going to square that off. There we go. And I've found my Tim Holtz wildflower stamps. So I think they should be okay. Quite like that one. Well, I like them all, but just thinking to go in here. I quite like that. Maybe there. Maybe that one. I don't know. Should we just try one and see how it goes? Not get too adventurous with ourselves. Right, so this is the only thing I'm doing, so I think I'm going to go. Oh no, hang on, we're moving. Yeah, this is not new, but it's not new to me either. Oh, I hope it works. Oh, it looks a bit overly gluey. I think that needs something in it, or thrown out, but I'm not going to throw it out, so let's see if I can get a bit on here. Work it in to that cut and dry. Well, I've got some on it, let's see. It's really gloopy and I don't think the finished thing is going to be too good, but you've got to give things a try, haven't you? I think maybe I should have bought a new pot of this, but I didn't even know I had an old pot. I don't want any of those gloopy bits because they're not staying on the stamp. Wow, it feels super tacky. I'm sure this is even tackier than it's supposed to be. Okay, there we go. Right. I'm not trying it first on that. Definitely not. What shall I try it on? I've got a remnant here. How about that? Look at it. You can see it. It's a mega tacky stuff. So let's put this down on here. And stamp with it, it says. So I'm stamping. Could, of course, have it on a stamp block. Not like an animal. Let's see what we've got. Oh my life, it stuck it to the paper. I don't necessarily know that we've got much on there. I just think that this needs chucking out. I think it's too old. So let's just try something on there and see if anything sticks. This is an experiment, guys. Yeah, no, there's no tackiness, so it's not going to work. Oh, what a shame! What a shame! No, there's so little tackiness going on. Yeah, no. Sadly, that doesn't work. But now I know about such things, I think I could be persuaded to go and buy some. I mean, you can see it's kind of stuck in places, but not what we wanted. Now it's sticking to my messy mat. I don't think, I'll go and have a word with Mr. F and see if there's any way that he thinks we can slacken that glue up. But it's so sticky. It's horribly sticky actually. Let's just take that to the bin. Yeah, it's, you know, that's it. That's what we got. Very, very nice, but it's not working. And this, you can hear it. It's like ultra tacky. So I'll just get myself cleaned up. I'll have a word with Mr. F. By which stage, middle of the daisy's probably gone off. Okay, I'm really sorry about that, but kind of worth the experimentation, I feel. Anyway, I want to colour these. How long have I been on? An hour? Oh my, an hour and 10. Whew, better get cracking. So I'm just going to quickly colour these. Water pen. You don't really need water, but... And then, which is the big end? This end. Let's put some purple down. Might work out that it's easier to... Oh no, that's fine. So I'm going down one side with the purple. And I'm not being in any way careful here. Just doing it. Then I'm going to get the blue. Put some blue out. And go down the other side. And just, it'll mix. It'll mix so you'll get a nice combination. Hopefully. And leave that to dry. I think I over wet it. Oh look, I've got some ink on my paper here. Let's make a messy mat. Let's use that up. Not very much of it, it's fair to say. Let's just put some purple on. This might be the quickest way. That one's a bit bent. There we are. Oh, hey. Then I'm going to put some blue on. And I don't want them to look overly, you know, perfect. Let's just go back in with the blue, the purple. Put some heavier dots of colour down just to break it up a bit. So that's what I'm going to do with all of my fussy cut, die cuts even. So they're coloured like so. I'll colour the leaves in a green. So I'll do all of that and I'll come back to you. Right, I've painted some of my things. My daisies must be dry by now because I've been ages. And there's the tag with the nice goldy bits on. Okay, let's push them up out of the way. Let's bring my daisies back on. Yeah, they look like they are tacky. Yeah, oh, can you hear them? They're tacky. And I'm going to use some gold finger and a stencil brush. This is a good stencil brush, but never mind, I'll give it a try. And they're quite small, these bits in the middle, so I don't need a big bit. That's like twice the size I need. Hey! This is very light, so don't breathe near it. Press that down into place. This bit. You can do this with remnants that you've got left. You don't have to be using a new flake like I am. we go. Right, so make sure that they're well pressed down. And you can see that it's starting to come off already. The bits that aren't glued, just give them a good brush with your fingertip. Then get your, it's hateful stuff to use this, get your brush. Have I got a colour on there? Hope not. And rub off the, I could do something just a bit harder than that brush, but we're getting there. There we go. So that was the glue that I put on, and that's the gold. Look at that. It's so pretty. Let's put that to one side, and then you just keep doing that till all the flake is off where it's not glued. And I could do with a slightly rougher texture than this, but we're getting there. You don't want a really rough brush either. So that's that. Oh, quite liking these. Very seldom will you see me play with anything metallic. But I thought it called for it. There we go. And the last one. Lovely. Now, we want to get these little bits back into the jar, or pot, should I say. So let's see if we can do that. Oh my life, I've attached myself to even more. Let's see, that's not bad. That's not so bad. Let's put the lid on that before I sneeze or cough or something and they go everywhere. It's the lightest stuff. There we go. Right. So, let's get rid of that. I'll be wearing gold flecks all night. So, let's see. I want to paint the stems green. And that's probably all I want to do to them. I want to leave them white because I want a good contrast. So I'm just going to quickly paint the stems. Okay, so I've painted the leaves and can you see how nice and goldy that is? Look at the mess on my fingers. Where's my wet wipe gone? Who knows about that one? Oh, it's here. Let's attempt to clean those a little bit. Sorry, today's been really rambly video, hasn't it? I can tell you that the flitter glue, Mr. F has looked at it and it's water-based. So he's added some water to it and stirred it up and just going to keep going back and stirring it through the evening. Right, so let's get a tag. Not forgetting that we have got all these labels that we made yesterday and the other ones that I had already looked out. That mushroom's blooming determined, isn't he? He's determined to get in on the act. So that's one that I made, for example. Oh no, I've got, oh dear, gold stuck to me. So let's just see what we've got. Let's take one of these purpley blue ones, put that at the back. I might just bring that down to there. It's going to have to be altered, that I feel, but we'll see. Then I want a daisy in front of that purple one. And I've got my goldy colour sticks, whatever they are. I've done them as sticks. And then another one, maybe down here. What does that look like? It looks like a really nice tag, is what that looks like. Wonder if we need another label somewhere. Where are my labels? Let's have a look. I've got that thin little one. Could go up there. really rather like that. Okay, I'm going sticking. Oh, hang on. I like that one better, I think, than that bare one. Let's put that one in there. There we are. I'm going to stick those like that. Am I? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. See you in a minute. Right, okay, finally. I've stuck those on. I just think they just look so lovely. I love the background. I love the way the background looks against these very stark white daisies, which I studiously have not coloured. I've got a bit of a thumbprint there, but you know, it's fine. The back really, really needs covering. You know, they've been round the block a bit. So I'm not going to put the topper in yet until I've backed them, and I'm not going to back them just yet because I'm tired. I've been doing this for hours. So I'm going to, because I told you that it's got this coating on it, I can't use distressing, so I'm going to use the archival ground espresso to go around my card, my little tag. Desperately needs backing. It's very flimsy actually. I do want that to darken up, and that's it, it's beginning to go. I hope you've enjoyed this. I appreciate that a lot of it was pants, total pants, but you know, it's a day in the life of my craft room is what it is. So you got to see it warts and all. I should have experimented with the flitter glue not on camera. That would have been an idea. But you know, hey ho, you've seen it now. And you know you can stamp with it. Well, you don't know that because you haven't seen any evidence, but I believe you can. So if Mr. F's experiment of putting water in it doesn't quite work, I'm definitely going to buy some, so just be warned. Everything is going to be gold from now on. So that looks better with the outside. Just gone around with the ground espresso a little bit. It's actually probably, truth be known, not quite dry yet. You know, it's got so many layers on it, and inks and oxides and stuff. Then I wouldn't be totally surprised if it wasn't really dry. And when it is, I might go back around with that ground espresso again. But there it is, the fruits of my labours for today. I hope you like. I love that gold. You know, for one that doesn't use gold, I think I might have, you know, found something that I do like. I like the gold splatters in the background. I like the labels that we made. Altogether, yeah, everything's good, I think. So let's just take a look and see what's on the agenda for tomorrow, which I have buried under a load of stuff. I don't even know where it is. Oh my goodness, I don't know where it is. I've lost it. Oh, it's here, it's lying on my desk. So today was, what was it? Masterboard, yeah, mixed media. So tomorrow is N. Notebook, nature, neutral and narrow. Surely we can find something out of that lot. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I haven't sickened you off. And you like the finished result. I love it. I love that background. It's great. And I can't think of a way you could get that actually without making a masterboard and everything that we did to it. So thanks guys, do take care, have a lovely evening, morning, wherever you are, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.